Alright, so we're going to be talking about setting up algebraic equations. And so now we're past solving algebraic equations. Now we're actually going to be setting them up and then perhaps solving them afterwards. So let's start with something pretty simple. Let's just say that the age of mother, we'll say, is equal to the age of child plus 27, right? So that means that the mother had that child when she was 27 years old. So what we can say is that the age of mother is equal to the age of child plus 27. So this right here is an algebraic equation. And if we know one or the other, we can solve for one or the other. So for example, if we know the age of the mother, we can simply solve for the age of the child by subtracting 27. Now, one thing we utilize in setting up these algebraic equations is let statements. So what we say is, instead of using a sentence in a math equation, it looks pretty funky, we use variables. So what we say is, we say let age of mother equal, I don't know, we'll use a variable that, sort of makes sense. So I guess we'll say m. So we'll say let age of mother equal m. Again, you don't have to use that, but in this case, I think in mother for m, right? That makes sense. And then we'll say let age of child equal c. Okay, so child for c, that makes sense as well. So now I'm going to rewrite our equation and make it look like, less English and more mathematical. So what I'm going to say is m is equal to c plus 27. So now this looks much more mathematical, right? But we're saying the exact same thing as we said up there. So now, we set this equation up. So if we have one of the variables, let's say we know the age of the child. Let's say we know that the child is newborn. He or she is, let's say 3 years old. Okay, so we let c equal 3. Then now with this equation that we have, we can solve for the age of the mother. So m is equal to 3 plus 27. So if the child is 3, the mother has to be 30. Okay, so does that make sense so far? All right. Now, let's now practice actually setting these up. Let's say that we know, let's see what example we can use here. Say for the number of cupcakes that you eat. So the number of cupcakes that you eat you gain 10 times as much for calories. So we can set up an equation here that represents this relationship. So what this says is that for every cupcake you eat, you essentially gain 10 calories. So what we can say is that calories is equal to 10 times cupcakes. Now here, instead of writing words, we can do a let statement. So we'll say let calories equal c. Oh, they both start with c, so oof. So we'll let calories equal c, and then we'll say cupcakes is, I don't know, we'll just say k. So now we can rewrite this as c is equal to 10k. So let's say we eat 15 cupcakes. Like, we're really hungry, we eat 15 cupcakes. So we can determine how many calories we're going to gain by plugging it in. So we get c is equal to 10 times 15, which is 150 calories. Again, this is probably not accurate. I'm sure you'll gain much more than that. But again, we're setting up equations from basically a sentence that we're given.